While dealing with the copyright, a normal doubt comes out: what is copyright, what is patent, and what is trademark? So, how to connect with these things, how to differentiate copyright from trademark and copyright from the other patent, other things, right. So, this presentation will tell you, the small explanation will make you understand about how these things are related and these things are distinguished from each other. Copyrights, trademarks and patents are commonly referred to as intellectual property. These are the productions of or creations of our knowledge domain. So, these are called intellectual properties. So, each one gives the owner exclusive right to work, meaning the owner, he has the right to prevent anyone from using their work. So, copyright protects from the expression of a person's ideas. So, it refers to the expression. For idea you cannot have copyright. Idea can be expressed in the form of art, in the form of poem, in the form of a film, in the form of a sound strip or a music composition. So, ideas are not protected normally. Expression of ideas is called copyright. So, copyright is automatic. They say that copyright, you need not go and register with the registrar of copyrights to claim your ownership. Only when there is a dispute comes, then you have to go. Otherwise, when you complete the work and when you put it on a public domain or in a private domain, then it automatically, when you complete the work. So, it is called copyright is automatic, and as soon as you create a work, you have the copyright protection. Registration is necessary only when you want to defend it in a court of law. And in order to qualify a patent, but if you look at the patent, it differs a little bit. So, copyright is automatic and you need not go and register anything, and it completes when you complete the work. So, in order to qualify a patent, an invention must be novel, which means that it is something new. The invention must be also useful and not necessarily very important, but it must be have some use and also must not be obvious. So, whatever that is available in the public domain cannot be patented. So, anything unobvious that can be patented. So, non-obvious means a person who is in the field and understands the subject's views, the invention as a surprising and significant development in the field, that is called a non-obvious thing. So, one of the most important differences between patent, trademark and copyright is that patents and copyrights will expire on a particular date. Both patent and copyright will expire, but copyrights are for the new work will last for lifetime plus an additional 60 years. So, first point is both the copyright and patent will expire, and in India that can go up to a maximum of 60 years, but patent will only for 25 years. Once copyrights or patents are expired, they cannot be renewed. Both the copyright and patent cannot be renewed. Lifetime plus 60 years there, and here only 25 years that will expire. But trademarks that will not expire, that can be renewed again and again. For a given period that will be there, then you have to renew it again and again. A copyright is generally technically territorial, as we see in the earlier case, that it is only within the particular period. Berne Convention only came into the picture and expanded the territory in the name of agreements. So, only good within the country of origin. Most nations, however, have agreements with other countries to honor each other's copyrights. Patent and trademarks are generally has international character. So, that is beyond the territory of the country. I will tell you one simple example to make you understand the relationship between the T. For example, somebody called X, he invents something new, that it travel both in atmosphere and as well as in the space, which is not normally available here, right. So, he invents something which can be traveled on the road as well as in the space. So, X would go for a patent for a plane, as the idea is novel, because these kind of things are not available. So, he will go for a patent. First he can apply for a patent because it is non-obvious and fulfill the requirement like usefulness and technical solution. It is new and it is useful and it is not obvious. So, he can go for a patent. Then he put a symbol in the playing implying that his creation or showcasing the source, this would be eligible for a trademark. He put up a symbol in the product, that is traveling on the road as well as in the space. So, first he went for a patent, then he applies for a trademark which can be given to him. Now, based on his experience of making this, he writes a book and a CD. So, that can go for copyright. So, first the idea is patented, then the mark that made on the symbol is called trademark. Based on everything he write an experience and he make a book or CD that can be copyrighted. So, copyright comes into existence as soon as the work is created and no formality is required to be completed for acquiring the copyright. I am talking about the procedure for registration, how to make registration in India, right. We will talk about this in this particular aspect. Facilities exist for having the work registered in the Register of Copyrights maintained in the Copyright Office of the Department of Education. In the Government of India, there is a department called Department of Education, in which there is a Copyright Office, and the Copyright Office has a director. We have to make an entry. The entries made in the Register of Copyrights serve as a prima facie evidence in the court of law. The Copyright Office has been set up to provide registration facilities to all types of works and is headed by Registrar of Copyrights. So, there is a Government of India through this act has created a copyright board. The board has certain powers. The Copyright Act provides for a quasi judicial body called the Copyright Board, consisting of a chairman and 2 or more, but not exceeding 14 other members for adjudicating certain kinds of copyright cases. The chairman of the board is of the level of a judge of high court. The board has powers to hear the appeals against the orders of the Register of Copyright, to hear the application for rectification of entries in the Register of Copyrights, to adjudicate upon the disputes on assignment of copyrights, to grant compulsory license to publish or republish works in certain cases according to the circumstances. By having travelled and by having gone through the acts and some provisions of that, I have to tell you a case of a popular case of Tamil Nadu where Bharatiyar's works were contentious, right. This particular case will make you understand the copyright issue in a very clear way. This was happened in long back, from 1935, started in 1934 and he ended up in 1949. Bharatiyar is a Tamil national poet, everyone knows him, and he passed away in 1921, September 11. He born in 1882 and he lived only for about less than 40 years he lived, and he had a publishing house called Bharati Prasuralayam. They had the entire ownership of the works of Bharatiyar, but Bharatiyar passed away long back and his successors, they sold the territorial rights, that is the songs can be used for broadcast, cinema and other places. So, one particular aspect of the rights have been given to one person called Jasinglal Mehta. That was in 1934. So, Jasinglal Mehta paid roughly about 450 rupees. He paid a very small amount. This is called assignment, assigning certain rights to one particular person called Jasinglal Mehta for about just paying 450 rupees, and he enjoyed for a long time. But he could not make use of that for a long time. He kept it idle and that was kept in the books of somebody for a long time. But printing and other rights were used by the Bharati Prasuralayam and that has been used. And that was a time that Indian freedom struggle was in the peak and Bharatiyar's songs were used in drama, theatre and film. So, one popular filmmaker called A.V. Meyyappa Chettiar, he came to know about Bharatiyar's songs and he wanted to use that. But not only for one film, he wanted to have it as the entire copyright of the one that is having the Jasinglal Mehta. So, he approached him and there was a long negotiation. After that, he paid about 9,000 rupees and got back the entire rights of Bharatiyar songs from Jasinglal Mehta, and he hold it for long time. But India, as soon as India got independence, then Tamil Nadu Assembly, at that time Avinasilingam Chettiar was there, that was called Madras Presidency Assembly, he was the education minister, he took the issue and in 1949 entire works of Bharatiyar was nationalized, and that was the first occasion in the world that a poet creations were nationalized. That was not even given to Rabindranath Tagore or Gandhiji. They were not having such kind of rights. So, that kind of honor was given by Tamil Nadu government by nationalizing the entire works of Bharatiyar. So, according to one popular writer or a critic who worked on Bharatiyar, he says that that particular nationalization inaugurated a unique moment in the global history of copyright. This was the first time ever Anywhere in the world, the state acquired the copyright of a writer and put in all his writings in the public domain. So, this presentation has tried to make you understand about what is copyright, how this was evolved, and what were the procedure to get it registered with the Register of Copyrights, and what kind of relationship it had, how it is being related or distinguished from patent and trademarks. And I cited two case studies. One was about Bharatiyar songs, the other one was about the person, the Sehgal, that who had the murals in Vigyan Bhavan. So, through these works, I tried to make you understand what is copyright. Hope you have enjoyed this lecture. Thank you.